They know what they're doing.
Well, could you actually,
you don't want to get caught. Yeah.
Could you please go into your version, your studies of the myth of Aphrodite and Venus, and could you just get into like the principle, the essence, what it's all about, what we have to learn from her? I mean, just
right. What's the myth of Aphrodite? So, Gaia and Uranus, they were the first people, right? The father principle was afraid that the children were going to take over his power. Mm-hmm. So every time the mother principle, Gaia, the earth, so the sky god and the earth goddess, right?
Gaia is the earth.
And getting pregnant, right? And he shoved the child back. Mm-hmm. All right. So at one point, Kronos, or Saturn, okay, realized, this is wrong. So he and the mother plot to kill the father. Okay.
And Kronos was Zeus's son, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And Saturn. No, Saturn was it was the brother. Kronos was the siblings. Okay. So Uranus was castrated with the sickle
by Kronos.
Yeah. And the phallos, the creative part of the sky god, part of the blood fell into the earth, and that's what created the Furies. But the member fell into the ocean. Mm-hmm. And of course, the people were freaked, like they thought a monster was going to come up. But that's what Aphrodite means. Sea foam. Mm-hmm. Comes from the sea. Okay. And most things that are, Aphrodite in nature are lush, and it's like when a fruit is just at a place where it just has all this delicious water, and it moves. Okay, so she comes up from the sea, and there is the golden one, right? And her two sidekicks, or some say it's her children, is Eros, which is the principle of love. And Eros is also the god that we would see him as Cupid, which is a kind of almost childlike way of saying it, but that's the energy that has us fall in love, or that's the energy that I think Eros is like gravity. It's the memory of when we were all one.
Wow.
And that's an important possibility. Because then we can realize, well, when we got broken apart, which they say the Big Bang is, right? And we separated, but anything that we separate from, we're still part of. Mm-hmm. So Aphrodite comes up from the sea foam, and she's, the people are speechless. The beauty is so great.
She is beauty.
She's beauty itself. But beauty can also, people can be terrified of beauty.
How so?
You'll hear people say, just on a very mundane level. Okay, somebody say, oh no, I bought that, but I'm only going to wear that on the holidays because it's so beautiful. It's like, what? No, you wear that every day. You wear that to do the wash. You wear that to take the dog out. You wear it every single day.
Yeah, it's too much.
Because it is beautiful, and that's your outfit to be before the divine. You're going to go in flip-flops and shorts? I don't think so. Okay, or whatever it is, or it's too beautiful, but I'll give it to my kids. And so you're also teaching your kids that you're a schlub, and you don't, and once in a while you should take the beauty. Okay, so then we question ourselves, why do you fear the beauty, or that you aren't deserving of beauty? Beauty has nothing to do with morality. Aphrodite is the complete enemy in some ways of morality, of the patriarch's morality, right? Because Aphrodite is also the principle. So an archetype has certain principles that we always know, that's Aphrodite, that's not Mars, that's Aphrodite. Mm-hmm. And she has the capacity for abandon. She can just stop on the moment and make love to Mars, or she can, Aphrodite's not Zen. She doesn't give you a single blade. It's a cornucopia. She's Caravaggio. And she never apologizes. There's nothing to an archetype can't apologize for being itself. We may have to apologize because we carried it a little too far, and that was not within our realm to do. Okay, so we can get so identified to an archetype that we think we are the archetype. That's when humans get in trouble. We need to stay in the human and the divinity of that and really work that one, because we're given everything. We're given this, the aspects of this, and so we can create in probably it was in around the Renaissance was the time that artists began to put their name on works of art. You never put your name because it wasn't you. It was the divine that was working through you.
Oh, wow.
That gave you the capacity. And if it was that perfect, you had to chip it, because you were not going to be in competitions with the gods' perfections, because the gods are, they
And they're jealous
and envious, and how dare you, and they have incest and wars, and they do all sorts of things, but we're not allowed to do that. Okay, because that's the first thing somebody said. Well, who do you think you are? Or we see the star, you hear so much about narcissists, but that's a mythology. That's a living mythology, because it's a psychic truth. We know when a person is wounded narcissistically because they can't see anybody else's needs. They get caught in their own reflection. It's one of the most tragic malfunctions of humanity, and they never know it.